everyone, happy Friday. How's it going? Good morning. We've got Wow Designer in the chat. David. Siobhan says he's super sick, so he can get started on the project right away. I'm sorry you're sick, Siobhan, but I'm glad that you're going to be working with us. Welcome to day 4 of our daily creative challenge. This is the last day of the first week, so we've completed an entire week. I'm very proud of you all. Give yourself a nice pat on the back. Very exciting. If you are just joining us, make sure you say what's up in the chat. I want to say hello to you. We've got, like I said, Siobhan, Susan, Alex, Boo, Derek. Good to see ya. I'm seeing a lot of names that I've never seen before, which is super awesome. If you are joining for the first time, I just want to introduce you to what the Daily Creative Challenge is very quickly, so that we can jump into the challenge real quick. What's up, Sam? Good to see you. Jimmy, I was muted? No way. Happy Friday, everyone. Hello, hello. All right, so what the Daily Creative Challenge is, it's a 2-week challenge where you're gonna get a prompt every day to work on a different kind of aspect of Photoshop. It's really beginner friendly, but if you are a little more advanced, we can always make the projects a little more challenging or a little more experimental. You totally have the freedom to do that. So if you want to check out the previous challenges, you can go to behance.net/dailycreativechallenge. That's where I am right now. Beautiful behind me, what a landscape. We're gonna scroll down and you can see that the challenges have been unlocked. And then today is the 4th day. So let's jump over to Slack and see what it is. Boom, Sam posted it at 8 a.m. sharp. Thank you, Sam. It is digital collage. This is really exciting. We're going to focus on the selection tools in Photoshop. They're very, very handy. I personally use the selection tools pretty much every time I open Photoshop, especially the polygonal lasso tool. That's like my favorite one. So we're going to be jumping into that very quickly. I'm interested to know who has ever made a digital collage before, or even just one on paper. We probably all have, right? In the digital realm, it's really similar. We're just going to be working with layers instead of with pieces of construction paper or magazine clippings. Yeah, Andrew, I know some of the folks that are hanging out in the Daily Creative Challenge are definitely not beginners, and that's okay. Don't have to be. All you have to do is work on your Photoshop skills, and at the end of the next week, you're going to have an awesome project with 9 different pieces in it. So a really important part about this is when we do finish the challenges every day, we're going to be uploading them onto Behance, and I'm going to show you mine super quick. So this is a Behance. Hello, welcome to my crib. And this is our project for the Daily Creative Challenge, and you can see I've posted the daily challenge every day as we've worked through them. We did layers, we did blending modes. Yesterday we worked with templates. That was super awesome. You made one in high school? Nice, Gabriella. Tell me about it. I want to know more about it. Lipu, what is a digital collage? I will tell you in just a moment, but it's pretty similar to a normal one. Where's my banner image? Jimmy, I don't have one yet. I haven't designed one. I'm so ashamed. And then under here in day 4 is where we're going to upload our digital collage. So I actually already have a digital collage in my portfolio, so I'm going to give you an example of what one is. This is literally just digital photos that I used the selection tool on, cut them out with little digital scissors, and built this cool frame to go around some hand lettering. These images are from a free collection on Flickr. It's the Creative Commons. But if you want to use your own images, you're welcome to. If you want to find images online, you're welcome to do that. I highly recommend using this contributor on Adobe Stock. Adobe Stock's an awesome way to get images and assets for your projects. This is Eve's portfolio, and it's, as you can see, it's all beautiful and super cool. I have never seen a collection like this on Stock before. Highly recommend it. Yeah, Andy, it's a normal collage, but on the computer. Yes. So some of the assets that are included in the starter file are from Eve's portfolio, but if you want to go check it out, you are welcome to. If you want to find her portfolio on your starter file, there's a number on the bottom right of that layer of the woman jumping. If you enter that number into the search bar on Adobe Stock, you will find her portfolio. Awesome. Merlin, I know, super cool. It's time for our morning sippy sippy. Yesterday we talked about if we were tea people, coffee people, Let me know if you didn't let me know yesterday. Let me know your favorite kind of coffee, favorite kind of tea. Oh, you got the day off, Alec? Nice. Go back to her user ID. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. But like I said, you can just enter that code that's at the bottom of the starter file of the woman jumping, and that'll bring you to her portfolio. Yeah, it's a creative work from your imagination using found objects. Good point, Waleed. Ooh, Death Wish coffee. Interesting. Herbal tea. I love herbal tea as well. All right, I'm also going to show you a little bit of inspiration before we get started from some of my favorite Instagram accounts that focus on digital collage. So as you can see, it can be very abstract. It can be really colorful, full bleed, or it can be really editorial and simple. We're kind of going to go for more of this vibe today because we only have 19 minutes and we need to get something done in that time. John says decaf only for me. Too bad, John. That's okay. You don't need caffeine. You're a latte sippy person. Tea sippy for the rest of the day. Nice. I know, lots of eyes in that one person. Cool. So let's jump into Photoshop. This should look similar to the starter file that you have. You should just have this artboard instead of the one that's all the way over there, just the work in progress one. But this is an example of where we're gonna land by the end of this. Ooh, a nice Earl Grey. Me too, Earl Grey latte. That's the stuff, Herbie. I don't know if you've ever tried it. It's the stuff. All right, we have our starter file open in Photoshop. As you can see, there are 4 image layers that are layered on top of each other, but it doesn't look like quite a collage right now. It just looks like a bunch of photos pasted on top of each other. So like I mentioned at the beginning, we're gonna focus on cutting our layers out with the selection tools so that we get these awesome silhouettes that create a really dynamic composition for our collage. Gabriella says, I like any coffee that will keep me awake so I can keep up with my son. I imagine he's scooting around, getting into everything. Awesome. All right, so if you have your starter file open, I'm just gonna turn off all of the layers except for one. And if you remember from previous days, you do that just by clicking the eyeball icon on the layer and that will turn it off. Let's turn all of them off except for this cool kind of paper doily pattern. And I'm gonna zoom in by doing Command plus. Command plus, Command plus. Just drag that up there, perfect. All right, so we are zoomed in and you'll notice that there is this white border around here. So we wanna get rid of it. We've learned in previous days that we can use blend modes to kind of get rid of white in certain ways. Like we could use multiply, but then it makes the entire layer kind of transparent and we don't want that. So let's just use one of the most simple, I'm gonna rasterize this layer really quick, simple selection tools, which would be the magic wand tool. It's literally magic, that's why it's called that. So magic wand tool, it's right here. You can select it by pressing W. So if I press my hotkey of W, there we go. And when I have my magic wand selected, I'm just gonna select the white of this layer. Cool. We see the classic Photoshop marching ants. So we know that the white is selected. And we could use a mask, but that is a little bit more advanced and we might go over that in a future day. So all I'm gonna do is just delete this. I'm just gonna tap delete, oops. And try that again. Oh, I think I have my tolerance set a little too high. Let's turn that down. There we go. If you ever are selecting with the magic wand and it selects too much, your tolerance might be too high. So it was at like 80 and I've put it down to like 40. All right, so as you can see, the marching ants are there. Let's hit delete. Awesome. Now with this project, we're not focusing on really specific, fine, detailed selections. This is gonna literally look like we cut it out with scissors. In a future day, we're gonna look more into how we can get really fine selections. But today, if you're gonna be rough with it, that is totally okay. Yeah, you could totally make a mask, Carolyn, and that way that you wouldn't lose any pixels. But for today, I think just deleting and selecting will work. Alrighty. So now we have these cool stickers. And all we want is this circle. So there's a couple different ways we could do this. We could do the magic wand again, but then you see, if I do delete that, it'll leave all of the other ones and we just want this one. So another way we can do it is we can use the marquee tool, which is basically a selection tool with a specific shape. So if we zoom in over here, you can see that there's a rectangular marquee tool, elliptical, which is just a circle, which is what we're going to use. And if you don't see the circle, you can do Shift-M, and that will cycle through all of our tools. What's up, D? Happy Friday. Instead of doing Command+, have you ever tried holding the Z key and click and move the mouse to zoom? Totally, that's the animated mouse. For some reason, Command+ is just what I like to use, but you can totally use Z and drag. That's what Andy's talking about. All right, back to the marquee tool. So I have my elliptical marquee selected. I'm gonna select about at where, if there's a square around this circle, about where the top left corner would be. I'm gonna hold Shift and I'm gonna drag. I'm going to move my selection over a little bit to fit perfectly. And I'm gonna go up to the select menu and I'm gonna go to inverse. As you can see, there's a hotkey for this. You could do a Shift Command I to inverse it. But I'm just gonna select here, hit delete, and it will delete everything for me. Perfect. I'm gonna deselect my selection by going up to select, deselect, or Command D. It's Friday night for you, Pujana. Thanks for hanging out with us on your Friday night. That's great. All right, so we are 2 layers in. And actually, I just realized that we need to cut the bottom of this doily off too, if we want to really match the left finished piece. So as you can see, I went from elliptical and now I'm going to the rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to select what I don't want, hit delete. There we go. All right, let's add this cool rock. Isn't this interesting? I have no idea what this is. It looks like sandstone? Maybe not? Yeah, you can also hold the space key while dragging your selection to move it. So for example, I have something selected. If I'm holding space, oops. Well, maybe not. Chad, maybe you can tell me more about that because I know you're an Adobe Pro, Photoshop Pro to be specific. Can we have the keystroke logger on again? Yeah, I thought it was on. Let me make sure that should be on. All right, so let's use our polygonal lasso tool up here to make some selections. The polygonal lasso tool makes a selection based on points. So as you can see, a string drags out behind here and I'm dropping a point, dropping a point, dropping a point, dropping a point, dropping a point. It's kind of like the pen tool a little bit. And as you can see, that is pretty rough. So let's deselect and let's use the magnetic lasso tool instead for this part. It's almost like the magic wand, but a little bit different. So I'm gonna start drawing. And as you can see, it's taking what is in the actual layer, the colored pixels, and it's sucking the selection to it like a magnet. So this isn't gonna be perfect because I'm not spending too much precious time on it. But for things that are a little more organic, this works nicely, especially with rocks, because no one will actually know what this rock looked like in the first place. So if we cut into it on accident, it's not a big deal. It's not going to be obvious. Here we go. I'm going to hit enter to complete the selection. Let's inverse it. Remember, Shift Command I. Delete. Oops, it's still a smart object. Too smart for its own good. Let's rasterize it. Delete it. Perfect. All right, so let's add the most difficult and complicated part, and I'll show you how I'm gonna make it not complicated. I'm all about that quick select tool. Yes, you read my mind, Gavin. All right, so let's make sure this is rasterized before we jump into it. So as you can see, there's a lot going on in this figure. We could use select and mask, but that's maybe a little bit too advanced for what I'm gonna go for right now. And since we do know that this is gonna have a collage type of look, it doesn't have to be perfect. We can have it make it look like it was actually cut out by scissors. So we don't have to be too careful, but we are gonna use that quick selection tool that Gavin was mentioning. So within the Magic Wand menu, nested beneath it is the quick selection tool. You can also do Shift W to go between those. And from here, I'm gonna make sure that I have my woman figure layer selected. I'm gonna draw within it. And it's like the Magic Wand tool, kind of mixed with the magnetic lasso tool. It's using some smart technology to group like pixels together and only select those. So since her pants are so dark and the background is so light, it's only gonna select her pants. Now, as you can see, this is not perfect. And if you do mess up, you can hold Option, and you'll notice when I do that, it turns into a minus sign. So it's showing that we're gonna be deselecting now. So Option, minus sign, you can deselect the selection. Let's go up here, see if this works really well with her hair, because hair is notoriously hard for selections. This is where some nice feathering might come into play. It selected the window, so we don't want that. All right, this works. Could you use select subject? You totally could, Andy. And we may or may not be going over that very soon. Potentially early next week, who knows? All right. So this is a super easy way to do quick selections, kind of quick and dirty. And then I'm actually gonna go back in with my polygonal lasso tool and continue the selection in kind of a paper cut type of way. Something similar to what I could actually achieve with scissors. Cool, how's everyone doing? Are you working alongside me with this lady? Are you using your own images? I'm just making quick selections, and you'll notice up here there are a couple different options for selections. So I'm ensuring that this is selected so that when I make a new selection, it adds to my previous one. You'll see it added to the original marching ants. Oh no, Sig, sorry. So for PC, when I say like command or option, it's usually Alt, I believe. Maybe someone who's a PC guru can let us know. All right, let's get these added. I'm gonna use the subtract selection to subtract this little triangle right here. And I think that's pretty good. All right, let's inverse it, let's delete it. There we go. We can be kind of rough with this part. Grab her leg. We want to pretend like it's behind, so let's just delete it. Awesome. So we pretty much have our finished product. Super easy, really rough and tumble. Like I said, we're going to go over in future shows how to be a little bit more precious about your selection. But for a digital collage that's supposed to look like a collage, this is cool. And since it's already in a square format, it's perfect for uploading to Instagram or Twitter if you want to show all your friends what you got going on. You learned another trick? Awesome, Michael. I'm glad. Alrighty. So I'm going to export this out. This is very important so that we can get it onto Behance. Let's put it on a JPEG. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. It doesn't need to be that big. Okie doke. Day 4. Perfect. And we're gonna upload these onto our Behance projects. Jump back into my portfolio. As we've gone over the previous days, the way that you would edit a previously made project is just hovering over this cog icon, clicking edit. And we're gonna scroll all the way down to the bottom. Let's upload our media with this upward pointing arrow. Select our day 4. And we're just gonna add some text by using the text tool. Day 4, digital collage. I would love to see if you have like family photos or old ones, some cool kind of heirloom digital collages. That would be a really great gift for someone as well. You can't find the magic wand? Andrew, it might be nested under like the quick selection tool, so just tap W, and if you don't see it selected, do Shift W. That will cycle through the different tools. All right, This is one of the most important parts. We gotta make sure that our keyword is still intact. If you go to Settings and then Discoverability, when you are editing your project, go to Keyword and make sure PS Daily Challenge is in there, because that's how we're gonna be searching through Behance to find each other's tagged work, which we will be doing in a couple minutes. All right, let's save that and let's go check it out, see how it looks. I noticed for a lot of these projects that I've built, there's a lot of blue and there's a lot of orange. I'm thinking that I'm just feeling blue and orange these days. Cool, there she is. She looks so happy. I want to live my life like her. Awesome. So we have that uploaded. Great. Now it is our chance to go look at other people's projects. If you want to search for other people's daily creative challenges, I'm going to search PS Daily Challenge. I'm going to make sure that it is searching by most recent. These are not the daily challenges I thought I would be seeing. Let's try again. PS Daily Challenge. You sent me the link again? Cool. So maybe we can pop away from my screen super quick so I can open that up. Awesome. Thank you. So the way to get to it, if you definitely want to see what I'm seeing right now, is just go to bit.ly/ maybe we can pop away from my screen again really quick. It is bit.ly/P entries. That will get you where you want to go. All right, here we are. So as you can see, we are searching by most recent, and we're seeing a lot of the work of people who have uploaded in previous days. So yesterday we were working with a book cover challenge. Shout out from California. Shout out from California, Pedro. We are in San Francisco. Where are you at? Press enter, Kathleen. Okay, Justin, maybe I was not searching by most recent. Thank you. So let's jump into a couple of these. I love dogs. I'm very tempted to go into this Shelby, so let's look at it really quick. Looks like it's smiling. This is Moo Moo. Very cute. So it looks like Shelby is still working on day one, and this is actually great because you do have the weekend to catch up on the previous challenges if you haven't had time. I know it's kind of a big time commitment, so you have all weekend to get caught up, and then next week on Monday we will start with more. Let's jump into this one by Mohammed because I thought it was very, very spooky. Mohammed also posted this in the Slack channel to get feedback. So if you would like feedback on your work, go ahead and post it in our Get Feedback Slack channel. And I would really recommend that when you do post for feedback, ask for something specific. Maybe you're unsure about your type layout. Maybe you're unsure about your color composition. So ask for what you're unsure about, because if you don't, you might get feedback that isn't super helpful to you. It's great to kind of help your art directors know what you need help with. This is awesome. I never think that people die. They just go to department stores. Well said, Andy Warhol. Well said. But best of all, he gives feedback. That's awesome, Alex. Okay, so I think that the composition of this is nice, especially because the background, there's a lot of contrast, but it is kind of subdued. So they're using a light gray and then a darker gray. They're not using a gray and, say, black. Mohammed leaves the most intense contrast for the actual type of the title, which makes your eye go straight to it. Awesome. Pedro, you're 3 hours south in Greenfield. Nice. Thanks for hanging out with us. So I'm going to make sure that I come down here and tell Mohammed the contrast is really working with the background and the type. I think it's a good rule of thumb to be under the impression that if you post your work for feedback, you should probably give feedback to at least one other project, or maybe more. It's a great way to just build the community, help people out, have a good time. Is that LeBron? Love LeBron. All right, let's jump into Ebony's. This is a very interesting use of breaking type. Evolving with ease, butterfly effect. Misconception of black girl magic. Oh, nice. I love this specifically, how Ebony built out the project. It's not just image, 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 kind of how I have it. It's giving us the process, the front and the back, and then showing us everything in its final form. Love your project layout. Looks like Ella has already posted on there. Nice. Awesome. So if you want to post your work on Behance, make sure that you tag it with the PS Daily Challenge keyword. Hang out with us on Slack because that is where we are going to be giving feedback and where you can give feedback to other people. And then we will be back on Monday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time with day 5. I'm interested to hear if you have any guesses on what it's going to be. Maybe we talked a little bit today about what it might be. I'm really excited to see everyone catch up over the weekend. And if you're still on day 1 and you're working through, no worries, no rush. We will just see you on Monday. So thanks everyone. Join us on Slack and have a nice weekend. Bye.